Thank you, John, for the kind remarks. Our final Alumni Award this evening is named for Saint Maria de Mattias, foundress of the Adorers of the Blood of Christ. The name of this award has changed from the committee's initial draft. It was originally the Mother Maria de Mattias Award, but the award has essentially remained the same, and the honor has been all the more enriched with Maria's subsequent canonization. This award continues to honor alumni who display a deep loyalty to Newman University and its mission through their stewardship and Catholic life. This year we have the privilege of having a number of the past recipients of this award who are with us tonight. Shirley Reed. JV and Veronica Johnston. Sister Margaret Conover. And Sheila Maximovitz. This year's recipients Mark Fox and Ann Fox have been hanging around Newman even longer than I have been. That is a very long time. You know, I probably met you when I was a student because I knew and I liked Rick, Ann's brother, but that's not when I remember meeting you. I first remember meeting Ann on the alumni board after helping plan an alumni homecoming party, and I met Mark shortly thereafter at that very alumni party. It all happened shortly after my daughter was born, and that was over 16 years ago. I remember it because while we were at the alumni party in the Old West dining room, Ann was running around like her hair was on fire, personally greeting every alum, filling every glass, lighting every candle, opening every door. And Mark was standing there holding his drink in one hand and a grocery bag full of snacks in the other. It was loud, and Ann fluttered by and introduced me to Mark. And somewhere between serving all the food herself and then personally rearranging all the tables in the West dining room, she continued to serve people. And while she was flitting around like a mad woman, I was trying to talk to Mark. I had my baby daughter in one arm and a drink which Ann had provided in the other. It was loud. The room was packed. We couldn't hear each other talk. That room is like a concrete box. We were yelling back and forth, and finally I said something to Mark about Ann being hard to hold down in one place. And Mark looked at me with a surprise on his face, shrugged, and said, "Okay, I really hardly know you, but if you need me to hold your daughter, I will." Now, I want to be very clear on this point. I did not ask Mark to hold my daughter. He did not hear what I said, and Mark is not a pedophile. It was just so loud we could not hear each other speak. I still don't know what he thought I said, but here he was, having met a virtual stranger, hands full, but yeah, if you really need me to, I'll hold your baby. That, my friends, is a match made in heaven. I suspect Ann hasn't taken enough time, the time she deserves, to stop and smell the roses. But I also expect Mark has always been there to hold them for her when he needed to be. To me, it's an insult to say Mark and Ann Fox are loyal to Newman University. They have lived its mission to transform society every day of their lives. They have done Renaissance fairs, phonathons, the art of food and drink. Each of them have completed multiple terms on the alumni board. Ann has served as Director of Alumni Relations from 2006 to 2012, which started a whole new period of renaissance in public speaking at the alumni banquets. Ann greatly increased athletic involvement at alumni reunions and hosted hundreds of other activities, many times with Mark at her side. Most recently, Mark also served on the Health Sciences Committee for the 2013-2014 academic year. And somewhere between rearranging all the tables and providing a sound science education for half the population of Mays and West Wichita, they managed to raise 4 great kids, 2 of which I think are fellow alums. Allison and Adrian, am I right? Mark is retired from teaching after a mere 32 years of being a high school science teacher. But he still substitutes and volunteers as a paraprofessional for special needs students at Mays High School. Ann has spent years in service to various not-for-profits, and she currently serves as the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity in Wichita. For 24 years, they have been members of the Sacred Heart Parish in Colwich. This award is supposed to honor alumni who display a deep loyalty to Newman University and its mission through their stewardship and Catholic life. You guys have more than earned it. Please come up and accept this well-deserved award.
I still can't keep up with her. I can't nail her down. She drives me crazy. But I love her. Thank you, JT, and members of the Alumni Association for considering us for this honor. Sarah, thank you for all your efforts to plan and execute this event. Our association is lucky to have your leadership. We can think of so many people who could and should be considered for recognition, which makes it all the more humbling that we are standing here tonight. We would like to offer our sincere congratulations to Margaret, Sister Teresa, Father Tom, and Monsignor Hemmer. We thank you for the many ways that your lives and work have brought honor and helped advance Newman University.
You mentioned it's been a long time, JT. That's really true. It was actually 38 years ago this month that I got the call. It was Sue from Kansas Newman admissions office. She offered me a 4-year scholarship with tuition paid. Barb, Newhart, Tiergart, this was a big deal. You were getting the call too, same time. Full tuition, $33 a credit hour for 4 years. Oh my gosh. I was the oldest of 7 children, and there was no way I would have been afforded an opportunity for college without that scholarship. It was my escape from life as a pig farmer's wife. That was one of 3 career options I knew for women at that time. Actually, if you watch The Bachelor, the pig farmers didn't look anything like Chris. And their tractors weren't near that big. 6 months later, and just 2 weeks into my Newman career, I met Mark. We've been married for 32 years. Took him a while to warm up to me. If you saw the picture of the Newman grads in a big group, that represents, we were calculating, we have a math teacher, which was Barb, calculating, and Kim helped. 238 years of married life are represented in that picture of Newman alumni. Receiving the St. Maria Award tonight has special meaning for me because I had the privilege of being an ASC associate and had the honor of studying St. Maria's life and teaching as a member of that group. With the scholarship, I got an education, but where I really have grown is in understanding Maria's charism through the relationships with people that we've met and learned to love here. Sister Madeline Kisner, God rest her merry soul, applied her energy and creativity to keep me out of trouble. Her personal attention is the reason I made it to alumni status that first freshman year away from parental authority. Sister Barb Smith, the RA at that time, helped along those lines as well. If we'd have known she was only 2 years younger than us, oh boy, would we have ever followed her rules? I know. Jean Cardenas, not only a teacher, but my model of what it meant to be a professional, intelligent, and very classy woman. Colleen Gillen inspired enthusiasm for this university with everybody she met. If you knew her, you felt the love of Jesus because she had such joy and such a sincere love and interest in every person she encountered on this campus and every person attracted here because of her. Sister Vicki Bergkamp provided me with a true world view. She taught me what leadership really is, not a title, but the ability to make people want to follow. Thank you, Sister Vicki. I think you're here somewhere. Margaret Canover, I never could have sat through your chemistry class. Mark will attest to that. But you taught me the value of every detail saved, stored, and organized to perfection, and I was so honored to be an alumni board president under your tenure as alumni director, and to receive your service and support when I filled that role and tried to fill the big shoes left by you, Colleen, and Sister Charlotte. Now, if you're an alum who had a significant life event between 2007 and 2011, if you ever attended the Art of Food and Drink, then you need to know that you have Carm Ludlow to thank. Carm served as a weekly volunteer during all my years in the alumni office, and I could have never done that job without your partnership. I never cry at things, so. Carm, you're one of the great unsung heroes of our Alumni Association, and I really appreciate your friendship over all these years. Then there's Charlotte, the first teacher that I met, the first ASC that I met. Charlotte, you've held pretty much every job on campus, and everybody knows that you're a master historian. That's your big role. But what people don't understand is that you truly create history. This is Charlotte's persuasive ability. She never asks anyone for help, but she spins a vision of the future so clearly that you can see your place in it. That's one of the reasons there was a midwifery tent on the campus for the 1989 Renaissance Fair, because Charlotte convinced me I could coordinate that event. And Allison was almost born on campus, so Allison, you were destined to make your appearance here sometime. Fortunately, it was not during the Renaissance Fair. Charlotte, you could do anything that you've ever asked anyone to do better than any of us could have done it, but thank you for engaging alums and making the time to do that, because that is what causes us to want to love and support it, and we know that you love us. That's why we say yes. These ladies are just a few of the St. Marias in my life. I could tell a story about pretty much every ASC who's impacted us. They've all been so life-giving and life-changing for us. And if either of us have done anything worth mentioning, I know that I've been aided, inspired, or helped by your lives and examples. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you've done in helping us and loving us in our relationship with Newman. And Mark made me nix the next part. So I'm gonna nix it.
No, we're still arguing about what to say up there. It's over, I won. I gotta take a breath.
Oh, so I can tell my part?
No.
Okay.
Newman, or should I say Kansas Newman College, really did change my life. I really wasn't even planning on going to college, but thanks to a scholarship from Newman and one from Star Lumber, thank you, Bob, I decided to go. When I look back now, I realize, of course, how many people greatly impacted my choices. I always kind of thought I wanted to be a teacher. Most of the classes at that time were in the Bayetta Hall. And as JT alluded to, the building was like a haunted house. The stairs were creaky, it was kind of scary, and there was a picture of Sister Beata up on the wall, and we were told that the eyes would follow you. Every day I went there, I looked, walked by, backed up, again. I don't know, it maybe. And if that wasn't enough to scare us, then there was Sister Thomasine. Found out I was going to have a couple classes from Sister Thomasine. Some people told me she was pretty tough. Well, I think that the fact that she was tough was what I needed. She really challenged us, and she was always quizzing us and asking us questions. And she would always, to me, or not to me, but to a lot of people, she'd say, now when you get in the Catholic school, well, I was kind of a rebel. The day, I remember the day she said that, I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go teach some pagans. So, long story short, I ended up at Mays High School, and I taught high school there for 29 years. I think I helped a few of those kids, hopefully. Of course, deciding what to teach was another story. And again, I kind of like science, and so I took biology from Dr. Singh. And from then on, I was hooked. I couldn't always understand what he said. Something about wanes and wessels. And Mike Ludlow can attest to that. Wanes and vessels. But what I really did understand was his great love for science and his enthusiasm for students. If I had to pick one trait that made me the best teacher that I could be, it would have been enthusiasm. When you're excited about what you're teaching, then the kids get excited about it too, and they want to learn more. But Dr. Singh wasn't the only one. I had a lot of other teachers from Newman that were equally exciting. I'd never really liked history that much until I had Sister Tarcisia for world history and Sister Charlotte for American history. Sister Charlotte, unbelievable. She told stories with such visualism and enthusiasm that it made you feel like you were there when it happened. I can remember feeling kind of weird, but like I was there when Paul Revere said, "The British are coming!" Although I never taught history, I am a history buff, and I do love history now. One class I did love to teach always more than any other class was anatomy and physiology, and I have Sister Teresa Wett to thank for that. When they needed a teacher at Mays, I volunteered for the job. I even had a copy of Gray's Anatomy. Not the TV show, the book. There is a book called, a great big thick book called Gray's Anatomy. And last but not least, there's Father Tom. Well, I guess I could spend about an hour telling you about how this guy has influenced me. It all started when I started playing guitar for masses. His sermons back then were so down to earth as they are today. As you heard earlier, he's just right on top of it. I probably didn't realize it back then, but he's probably the one that helped mold my spiritual character in addition, more than anybody else, in addition to all the other people at Newman. As time went on, we became friends and even hunting and fishing buddies. But of course, he always seems to catch more and bigger fish. And he's the only hunter I have ever seen get 5 ducks with one shot. I'm not making that up. He got 5. I still can't believe it, but my dog brought the dumb ducks back. 5 ducks with one shot. I had jabbed him a little bit there. Of course, lots of people know him, and he's very popular, and we all love him. He's so popular, in fact, that people, and he says this too, people are dying to see him. And that when they die, he puts the fun in their funeral. So, thanks for all that you've done, Father Tom. And I really appreciate it. You go ahead.
also want to thank our family. And actually, we didn't invite our siblings to this, but one of them showed up anyway. He's a Benedictine alum, so don't hold that against him.
Ravens.
He surprised us tonight. Our son Alex is a senior propulsion engineer at Textron Aviation. He's the person that keeps purple alive in our house as a proud K-State grad. Allison Scott, a physical therapist at Newton Medical Center, one that was almost born here in 1989. And our son-in-law Blake Scott, who teaches Catholic elementary schools, both St. Joe and St. Jude. He's a math teacher. You need to meet Barbara, the master math teacher. Our daughter Adrian is also a Newman alum, and she's currently in physical therapy school at Duke University. And then we have AJ, who's our special needs son. He brings joy, that's his job. We love you all, we're proud of you. Thanks for being here. You're our best accomplishment. That our Newman relationships and our personal relationship are about equal in length, but they're also equal in their ups and downs. And shortly after our graduation, Newman hit its lowest enrollment period ever. We took that to mean that it was time to get involved, and many of our friends did too. It's easy to be on the bandwagon when something's successful, but when things aren't going well, it's even tougher. Drew Bogner and Karen, Mike and Carm Ludlow, Monty and Kim Vines, Barb and Ralph Tiergart, JV and Veronica Johnston, the Grellingers, Rick, Jim, and Archie and Jean Macias, Jim and Sheila and John Maximowitz. We could go on and on with people from that era who stepped up when things were tough, believed in this place, and devoted time, energy, money, leadership to make sure it survived. And the education that our daughters received here is testament to what a gift that was in those days. Kept the doors open. I know Mike was on the board at that time, and there was a really chance that it could close. I know the diocese was really important in helping to make sure it said. And the sisters who have sacrificed everything over and over, giving so much of who they are, what they have, what they've earned to keep these doors alive. So students, they've all disappeared. Students, hear this, pay it forward. Take that scholarship, and every year, in small ways, always, give what you can back and forward so others can benefit from this remarkable place and the remarkable lessons taught you here. Thank you for this honor, and thank you all who made this school possible.
And you can't take the book.